Wrestling for Fans. Got another response for you. So let's get right into this. What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here, and another response for Wrestling for Fans. Okay. I'm not tapping out, but I listened to what he had to say. He listened to what I had to say. Now I'm hoping he listens to what I have to say. Wait, I just got myself confused. Oh well. As far as New will admit that, well, there's no doubt about it that if New Japan was to have a better television deal, and I do understand that this is not Ted Turner, that this is not WCW, because New Japan and all New Japan as well as All Japan have been ran for a long, long time. And yes, they do have better storylines. They have better storylines than what's going on right now in WWE. But if New Japan had a better television deal, because even though they're doing great on access, they need a better television station, in my opinion. I don't disagree with anything that Wrestling for Fans had to say. It's just, we have different points of views on this. WWE will probably won't be around forever. And I understand that, and wrestling fans understand that as well. Not just me. WWE will not be around forever. Try to get in here now, idiot. That's why I am glad to see That's why I'm glad to see wrestling organizations such as New Japan, All Japan, Ring of Honor. Wait, did it say I need your butt? Is it HOH. Why am I looking in bathroom stalls? Now, just because there are a lot of good wrestling organizations out there does not mean there are not bad wrestling organizations. Like Combat Zone Wrestling. Combat Zone Wrestling is bad. They can't even keep a television deal. They had a television deal, but the network they were on just completely X'd them out because of let me.
Let's examine the body for clues. Looks like the injury was to his right knee. There's no murder weapon to be found.
But they still do this. There's light tubes, there's barbed wire, which I really don't have a problem with the barbed wire because it's been used before, but when it comes to light tubes and when it comes to having a loaded weed eater on a man's chest and turning it on, that's where I draw the line, and that's where I would say, I am not watching this. I am not allowing my children to watch this. I am done with this show. And you may be saying, well, Hardcore Christopher, ECW was the same way. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. ECW.
The clue appears to do nothing.
ECW may have done a lot of stuff back in the day, but they were there was nothing compared. CZW makes ECW look tame. ECW I thought was as hardcore as the wrestling industry was gonna get. But no, when you take light tubes, when you take barbed wire, when you take a loaded weed eater, when you take all this stuff, that if a wrestling promoter, if the CZW promoter walked, if I wanted to go in and I talked to the CZW promoter, I think it's John Zendig or something like that, and he told me that I was gonna be in a match where I would have a loaded weed eater turned on to where make my chest bleed. I would just walk up. No, not walk up, but I would just get up. I would look at him, and I would say, "This was a bad idea because I'm not going to die for you guys. And I'm not taking a loaded weed eater or a hypodermic needle or a light tube or anything like that." And I would just walk out. But I'll get to CZW in another video. I can make an entire rant video on CZW. And I will admit that WWE is throwing things together right now. But I think there is potential. I think that there is potential for WWE to get better. And the product has been pretty good. Well, at least SmackDown Live's been pretty good. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I say that, then I begin to say something else. So let me get this thought out. I am glad to see that wrestling is not dead.
Let's just leave it. I know it's harmless, but let's just leave it.
You know,
put some stuff in here.
But
Oh, God.
but
Don't scare me like that.
right now WWE is going to do an Australia is in a show in Australia and they have a WWE NXT UK version.
Oh, come on.
If we could probably get a cruiserweight classic. Oh, and by the way, speaking of classics, the Mae Young Classic. I'm glad I thought of this now. Caitlyn, you know, former WWE Diva champion Caitlyn. She is going to be part of the Mae Young Classic. I think that's going to be awesome. But you know, we haven't had a good wrestling. We haven't had a good WWE storyline ever since Nexus, and that was 8 years ago. I do think that Sanity could be a major storyline. But that's all my thoughts. I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore. Keep it hardcore, everyone.